Welcome. You are on Trinity Podcast. Miss Joanna and I, Becky Eastup Noble, are super excited that you're here. Joanna is the real estate wealth maven, and I am the credit coach queen. And so we are helping Americans understand and master real estate investing, business and personal credit, and the money matrix, how each one of these things affects you, and how to leverage your Trinity wealth and take control of your economic independence. Today, we're actually going to be going over relationships and why relationships are so important. And so I would love for Joanna to kick us off and talk about some of the relationships that she's built over the years and why and how it's helped her grow her wealth.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Becky. So fun doing these podcasts with you. It gets our brains together, which is absolutely magic. And for many Americans to hear different ways of thinking and like how we did it, right? Like how built our wealth and still on our journey and always growing. And at one of our past podcasts, we talked about the four currencies. And in those four currencies was, money, time, knowledge, and relationship. And I just wanted to unpack the relationship part of it real quick and introduce the importance of the relationship. Because I think if you guys are tracking, like almost nothing exists without relationships. Almost nothing, right? So it's the people that you love. That's the first thing you think of when you think of relationships. There's business partners. Becky and I are business partners. That's a relationship. There's, the list goes on. You're getting my point, right? So the reason I wanted to talk about relationships, it's one of the main things that I train on in my 5-day challenge, is how to build team, right? That's relationship, right? Whether you're in business and you're needing like someone to do your marketing, your email, like that's team in that regard, right? Mm-hmm. Or team meaning you want to do real estate investing and you need a team to, be your realtor, be your lender, be their title company. Those are relationships to build. And also finding motivated sellers is building relationship. Like almost everything I point to points because of a relationship that you need to do in your in order to grow as a human being and as a business and your wealth strategy. It all takes relationships. And so I thought it perfect to really just dive into this today because again, relationships makes the world go round. Am I wrong?
You're absolutely right. 1000%.
Yeah. And in our community, which is relationships, we're building each other up, right? Everyone is at a different spot. We love everybody where they're at and we lift each other. It's a constant up and down, like, reaching down and reaching up scenario, right? It's not just one way. It's not just one way. And there's an old story of, no, not an old story, an old adage, leave no soldier behind, right? Mm-hmm. And this is kind of how Becky and I work. And we're always lending a hand up because we always get a hand down, mm-hmm. right? To help us up. And I think it's important to pay that forward. And those are the type of people that we attract. So welcome to our world. If you're just now seeing us for the first time on our podcast or hearing us for the first time, this is how our heart works. Hearts work is more in that pay it forward kind of mentality and working together as a team, as a community, building relationships. Now I started, oh my God, a few decades ago, really realizing that I had to do this. And I got to tell you, it wasn't easy. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just didn't want to talk to people. I was that person that would stand in the back of the room at a meeting and just go, great people. Bye. I was that wallflower. And like, I was afraid of what I could say. I was afraid of if I said the wrong thing, or somebody told me something. They said, never say something. I'm like, did I say it to the wrong person? Like, oh my God, so many things. I made up so much silly string in my head, right? That that I didn't do much business when I first started. That's what the result was for that. How are you when you first started getting into business, like in building relationships, Becky?
I think I was a lot like that, Joanna. Like I would go to network marketing things and I would sit there and I would listen to everybody and I'd be all like super nervous for that 30 seconds that you had to tell your little elevator speech. And like I wouldn't even hear what anybody said because I was sitting there like the whole time thinking, okay, what am I gonna say? How am I gonna say it? And I was just in my head the whole time, and then they'd make you stand up and then you get like that butterflies in your belly, and then it was like, okay, I said it, I'm sitting down. Now I can't hear anything because I've released all this adrenaline in my brain that I can't hear anything else anymore. It is like I couldn't build a friendship or relationship or anything because I was just so worried about self. And so I've just come so far from that person. But the thing is that is the first step in your growth cycle. And so like you're growing if you're doing something like that and those butterflies are happening in your belly, and it's like it's almost an adrenaline rush, and you're like,
Mm,
okay, I did it and I feel good. And then I got that out of the way, I don't have to do that anymore. But that's not true. And so what I found is like the more I've done it, the more I want to do it, and the more I do that, the more like it's like finding more of yourself each time you go through like this cycle of growth. And so, and really the cycle is growth is building relationships with other people. uh but I found like over this last year, especially in the group and the community that we're a part of, that you get so many amazing examples of people that truly care about other people and truly want to get to know you. And so the more I get to know people, the more I love people. And that's really weird for me because I was always so worried that everybody was out to mess me over before. And so now
yeah.
that I've just opened my heart more, it's like I'm attracting the right people more. And so it's just nothing but love. And it's so much more fun when you get into a space of that. And I was thinking about you this week, Joanna, because there was somebody that I was talking to, and I thought about how you talk about real estate investing all the time and how people can retire with real estate investing, but like the first journey whenever you're teaching people how they need to work on property stuff is getting to know the story, right? And so I thought about that in context of like what I do with credit repair, because I can't tell somebody what they need to do with their credit until I know what they want, what their
Yeah.
goals are. And so I thought that was so much fun. And then like I was talking to you earlier, but and this is a little bit off subject, but like my goal, like clients always come to me with their goals, but my goal is that people that come to me will never have to have credit repair again, because they learned about money. And so that's what's so unique about what Joanne and I do together, is that we teach people financial fitness and wealth and what we're doing here. Like it all goes together. But if you get really good at money, then you never need credit repair. And so that's my goal for people. Anyway, that was a little bit off, but really speaks to the heart of what we're all about. So
So yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up because there's why is relationships important. I think you just covered that is where I was
mhm.
going to go next. So you
Perfect.
read my mind.
Thanks.
So yeah, super important. Uh, and also where, like, so we were talking about networking. We're talking about the importance of it, of networking. First of all, it develops you as a human being. And second of all, it opens up your heart. You get to explain to people more of who you are. And this is where people get afraid and they lock up because what if they don't like me who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter because there's billions of people in the world and there's going to be a ton that love you who you are. So just face, go forward with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, love the ones that love you. And I always said, uh, there's a friend of mine that was just single, not real close, but just single for a very long time. And I'm just like, there's somebody for everybody in the world as far as relationships go. And I'm happy to say he's found somebody that, I just felt really because he's a very closed person. And so, how are you going to get to know somebody? How are you going to date? How are you going to, right? Like, if you're so closed. So, it took some, I mean, it's been a while, like years, um, that he's been working on his leadership. He's been working on how to talk to um, people, period, about business, about relationship, about. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's not easy building relationships. And so I'm using like sort of a dating analogy because it's the same thing. I mean, Becky and I were dating for a while, if you will, as trying to see if we're going to be business partners, right? And then you date your team, right? Like you don't get married on the first date. You don't hire them on the first time you meet them, right? Like you have to get to know them and build the relationship. Do they have the same why and what that you are they connected with your what and your why? Do they have the same values? And what makes the world go round is we all have a different opinion, we all have different values, and connecting with those that are similar with you with yours is super exciting. And I love learning about others as well, but when there's that connection, like that's what builds community, right? Because you're all similar in some way, uh, that brings out all the love. I don't know, in my opinion. So where to go to build these relationships, right? Like who do you know is always what I'm asking. In the four currencies, it was, time, money, knowledge, and relationships. And who do you know that would be right for the relationship you need to solve this particular problem? Right. So let me give you an example. So Becky needs to move to a different neighborhood. And she goes, I know I'm going. I know this is going to happen. I just don't know the how yet. Right. And some people might call this manifesting, but the more you open your heart and have that relationship about the what and why, right? And the where you're going to find this, the who shows up
Mm-hmm.
because they're aligned with what you are speaking about, right? The more you speak into the universe, to source, to God, whatever y'all believe in, no, nothing can help you if you don't speak out. Nothing can help you if you don't speak out. Number one is the people in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
The people in front of you hear you talking all the time, right? And then they can go, oh, this guy Bob can help you. I heard you talking about blah, blah, blah. And this guy Bob can answer that question for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of businesses out there where they go, your referral means everything to me. And that's not a tagline. That's it's true. And it's powerful because it's a relationship before there's even a sale.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's the best. It's like getting married, your best friends, right? Above and beyond being married,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're best friends first, it makes the marriage much easier. If you are referred by somebody, it makes that really relationship much easier before you get married, which is the sale. right? So I hope you guys are tracking with me in my
That's so
analogy.
cute. I love it.
But just like how important relationships are.
Mhm.
And when I talked about the four currencies, people go, relationships, you know, it's a little wonky sometimes because people don't see
I
always.
I think
Some
everybody
do.
has their own definition of relationships.
Yeah.
So in the real estate world, I know on the business credit side, I have relationships with different lenders and things like that. And so depending on what somebody's trying to do, again, going back to the story, I know how to connect them the right way. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of like in your world, in the real estate world. Um, I mean, I've got like two examples of my life right now, right? I'm looking
Hmm.
to sell, I'm looking to move. I've got several relationships with real estate agents. I don't want to make anybody mad by picking one over the other. But then I've also got private investors. So I might not even need a real estate agent, And so, but here's the thing is that I have a relationship with Miss Joanna Wright that knows how to keep me safe and write up a contract that makes it a win-win situation. And so I'm pooling all my resources right now in my situation that I'm using to come up with the best strategy. But here's the fun part. I've been asking Joanna for the last month, well, maybe should I do this or should I do that? Why should I do it this way? Why should I? And I have somebody right there to walk me through what I need to do. Same thing with the real estate investment side of it. So that's why I love her so much, because I feel like that's more valuable than anything, because trying to figure out what to do is the hardest part. Once you got it figured out, then you just go do it, right? So
Exactly.
I just want to let you know how much I really do appreciate you.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. Thanks, Beck. I love
thank
it. Love
you.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, like how important relationships are. And if you guys have questions about, anything that we talk about, just comment in the comment section. We definitely reply. We've had some great conversations in the comments section after our podcast, so feel free to go ahead and join in. But building a relationship is key, and the more we build a relationship with you, the more you get to learn. So this brings us back to the four currencies. The more you build a relationship with us, the more knowledge you're going to get, right? And the
Mhm.
more you're going to leverage your time, and means the more money that you're going to make. So I hope this was helpful for you guys to hear how I think about building relationships, because it's not just, a love relationship. There's all kinds of levels of relationships. You have a relationship with your dog, your animals, your neighbors,
Your chickens.
your chickens. Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. I'm getting 15 more chickens. So those of you that know me, I'm the crazy chicken lady. I live on a farm, 78 acres in Pennsylvania, and I get to have all the chickens I want. So there's so much fun, and my dogs are great with them, and they have a great relationship with each other. How's that?
Nice.
They share the land together. So, which, that's a great analogy too, because most dogs chase chickens. Mine don't, because they have a relationship. They
Well,
have
they're
an
keeping
agreement.
your dogs are keeping your chickens safe, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's
And they
how.
could be laying on the ground and the chickens walk by and they just watch them walk by. And people just think it's so amazing when I say that, because I took the time to help them build a relationship, right? And it's not the kind you
You're
guys are
such a
probably
good
thinking of.
leader.
What's that?
But you're such a good leader.
I took leadership over my chickens and my dogs, and now we all have a great relationship together, a calm relationship. So it's pretty powerful. If you want to learn more, happy to jump into a conversation with that. Just comment down in the sections. Anything else you want to add to this, Beck?
Well, I think I feel complete in this moment. Build good relationships with people. We can't wait to get to know you.
Yes. Yay.